but I'll briefly describe the bill and try to stand for questions. House Bill 3 proposes a constitutional amendment that will prohibit condemnation of private property except for a public use. It requires just compensation for property taken, and it requires that that compensation be decided by a jury if either side requests a jury to decide the issue of compensation. The bill also contains some conforming statutory changes to make clear that property can only be taken for a public use. Those statutory changes also show that public utilities and other entities who already have the power of eminent domain under our current law will continue to do so even under our constitutional amendment that's contained within this bill. As I said, the bill's passed before many times through the House. If you were here in 2017, in fact, the same exact bill passed the House 106 to 7. This is the same language that we used in that bill, no changes at all. So why do we need this? Again, if you've been here, you know the debate surrounding this. A lot of it started when the Kelo case, Kelo versus City of New London case came down in 2005. It essentially said that the government could take its citizens' property, give it to another private citizen for purposes of economic development. And that was a federal Supreme Court case, and they were interpreting, of course, the federal Constitution, but they made it clear that states could prohibit that practice if they saw fit. And so that's what we seek to do here. Our state constitution is somewhat unique on this issue in that it's the only one that does not expressly provide just compensation. However, our state Supreme Court has found such a right in the law of the land clause, which is essentially our due process clause in North Carolina. But again, we're the only one that does not expressly say that citizens should have just compensation when their property is taken. The issue on this debate comes down to the taking for purposes of public use versus a public benefit or a public purpose. And we believe that the government should only take your property for purposes of public use. If they're going to do that, they should justly compensate you. You should have the right to a trial by jury to do so. And our Supreme Court cases in North Carolina have sometimes been conflicting, frankly, as to whether you have to have just a public use or a public benefit and a public use. And so what we want to do here is clarify that, make it clear that if the state or any other governmental entity or any other entity that has the eminent domain power in North Carolina decides to take property, it can only do so for a public use. I appreciate your support of the bill.